Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. I want to give you a chicken coop update. We're getting into winter and we did some more modifications, so I wanted to show you what we got. First off, you can see at least the chicken coop doors, and that's a good indicator here. These chicken coops have been disintegrating. These were just kind of very cheap coops that we bought, and I didn't realize how, I guess, cheap they would end up being and how destructive these chickens could be. I've had to basically rebuild the doors, like just with, I just use plywood basically to build new doors, and I've had to reframe some of the nesting box lids and some of the actual roof lids. You can see on the far coop there, the trim with the hinges, like it's all busted off, and excuse me, the roof is just staying there, right? So it's kind of bad. They've just been disintegrating, and I've been repairing them as I can, you know, either scabbing on wood or rebuilding parts entirely to keep them going. But so be advised, if you go this route like I did, that this may happen. Maybe it's just the sheer number of birds where they're destructing, you know, quickly. I don't know. But that chicken's been laying. They've been happy. We had a couple roosters that we swapped out, and so now we've got our flock of 10 with our one rooster there. His name is Nugget, and he is a butthead, but just the right amount of butthead that you want in a rooster. And then 9 girls, varying breeds. So pretty cool overall. But what I want to show you is what we did to the watering system. So it is cold, or getting cold, right? And so water freezing is a concern. Now here in Oklahoma, we get cold, but we don't get cold like you people in the north get cold, right? So, well, I don't really think I'm gonna need a water heater at all. And this is gonna be the first test, I guess, to see if I actually need a water heater. So what I've got here, okay, is, you see my watering system there, and I've showed you this before, okay? What I did, let's go through the changes. Coming out of the water, all right, we've got our normal valve and a union, but then I have an inline pump. This is just a very simple, cheap, low flow like pump, okay? So that pump now connects inline here. We have all the water right here. And instead of capped at the end, we come out, we go up, and we go back into the tank, all right? Just another bulkhead fitting and another union, all right? And so what happens is that pump will circulate water, you know, pulling it from the tank and pushing it through, filling up the water cups, and then the excess water going back into the reservoir here. Now, what I've done here, I still need to bind this cord up. I've got all this in this weatherproof box. You can see I've got cable down here, and what I have in here is basically the power supply and connector for that. Right, and I've got it all sealed up under here with just some dum-dum to try to keep critters out and whatever. In here, I've got what's called I think they're called thermocube. I'll put a link in the video description where I got it on Amazon. Basically what this does, it's an electrical switch. It's just an outlet that you run in line. So you plug your power cable into it, or no, rather you plug your device into it, right? And then you plug this into your power cable that goes to, in my case, I've got an extension cord going to the house, just for now. And what this does is at 38 degrees, when the ambient temperature here is 38 degrees, it turns on the circuit. In this case, it'll turn on the pump. And then when it hits 50 degrees, it turns off the pump. So this will allow us to have circulating water that then should not freeze in our climate. And just circulating the water, that should be enough to have things not freeze. And if it isn't, and it turns out we get some freezing, then we can look at adding a heater or something. But for now, we're trying the simple solution. And it is simple. I mean, you're talking, I don't know, 30 bucks in parts, 40 bucks in parts for the pump and the thermocube, right? And then extension cord I had lying around. This box I had lying around. This was the box that originally housed the cellular Wi-Fi cellular bridge hotspot that I had on the property originally before we got our internet access up and going. And I had this outside the shop. So repurposed that, drilled some more holes in the bottom, and that's it. So this system so far has worked pretty good. We've had a couple cold nights. I verified that it works well. So I would highly recommend, would absolutely highly recommend this as a method, especially to live in a more kind of moderate climate like we do, right? We're not so terribly cold. What else can I show you? All right, I guess another update for the feeders. The feeders have been working very well. I still get some water intrusion, I think, because mainly this tarp, like, you know, the zip ties broke, and so it's kind of flimsy, right? But I still do get some water intrusion on the top here if we have a heavy rain. So if you can protect the tops of these better, I would recommend. That way you don't get a bunch of food, you know, sludge and goo that you have to clean out of the pipe. But aside from that, they work great. These two 3-inch pipes that are, what, 3-inch and probably, I don't know, almost 5 feet tall each for these 3-inch pipes, about 5 foot tall each. I have to refill these once a week, pretty much. So every Saturday morning I fill these up, and so that feeds 10 chickens, right, for a week in the food. So that works out really well. And then the water lasts, you know, 30, I think it's like 30 gallons. More than that, 60 gallons. I don't know how big is it? Oh, 30 gallons. 30 gallons of water here. This lasts, you know, probably closer to 2 weeks. It just depends how messy they are, and if, you know, we have a leak or something that drips out. You know, it just depends. But so those systems are working well. Over there you can kind of see the grit and oyster shell dispensers. If I had to do it again, I played around with that. I'd probably just do them just like the feeders, you know, and whenever I build their big chicken coop, I'll probably build more like the feeders, where I just do 2-inch pipes for those and distribute them just like the feeders here. Or maybe do 3-inch, but just do shorter, right? So they have bigger, you know, openings to access, right? I'd probably do that. It's just as simple. It works well. So why not? With those, you know, I try to fill up those little hoppers in the tubes, but I swear they just make a mess of it all and kick it all out anyway. So I don't think it really helps. But so that's all we got. That is the system. It's not the prettiest plumbing job in the world, but I mean, this whole coop is temporary. So I just wanted to have it work, and it works. So I think that's all I got. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Have any questions about it, absolutely ask me in the comments. I'll get back to you. Let me know how you guys handle your setups for freezing water. Do you do circulation? Do you do tank heaters? Do you do both? So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.